Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? Just refreshing, making sure I'm in the right place. So you'll have to forgive me. I'm going to try not to sniff through this video, but I've been feeling a bit blocked up with a bit of a head cold this week. So I'm feeling okay in myself, just a bit sniffly and a bit sneezy, almost like hay fever, which is not something I generally suffer with. But my throat's a bit dodgy as well, so please do forgive me if I have to cough or sneeze. So how are we? It's Saturday. I'm not normally here live on a Saturday. So the reason for that being that I'm off next week for a few days on our annual dog walking holiday. So I would normally have gone live next week on Tuesday, but I thought I'd do it today instead, rather than waiting another week after. So we're back with Stamp and Chat. So this is the 5th week using the Tag Buffet stamp set and the Tag Buffet project kit, which if you've seen the first video, I did show you the contents, but I may just run through what's in there at the end of the video, depending on time, see how we're going. So let's see, is anybody joining me? Have a quick look. I'm in the right place anyway. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to just share this to my group. So just bear with me while we wait for people to come on. While I just share this over. There we go. Another beautiful morning out there, really sunny, but it is quite breezy, and that wind is quite chilly. I don't know if you've been out there yet. I went out there first thing just to go down and water the vegetables, and it was quite fresh, but definitely a change coming, and definitely darker mornings that I'm noticing as well, which I don't mind. I don't mind that. Okay, so let's get on with today's card. So those of you that are stamping live with me, you need to pull out your card kit number 5, and we're going to create this one today. Okay, so a little bit of fussy cutting. Wouldn't be a card from me if there wasn't fussy cutting involved with it. And so pull out pack number 5. You'll also need to pull out this sheet of die cuts. Okay, so we're using this one. These two now you can do what you please with. So you've got the American Christmas bird, a cardinal, and you've got a nice like flory, leafy foliage piece there that you could pop a nice greeting in the middle. So we need that piece. I'm going to pull together my pieces, pop my insert, and your final piece of pre-cut shaded spruce. So this is your card base, the one that I've scored, because obviously you had extra pieces in your kit. So let's just burnish this score line, ready for our base, and just put that to one side for a moment. You're going to need your little sponge, your spongy wedge, and your ink. Open up your shaded spruce. Just going to pop that little die cut out of the way for the moment. And then you'll need your first layer that we're just going to daub around the edge with the sponge. I'm going to find my bit of scrap just to take it off. And as per most of the other cards, we're just sponging around the edge just to give a bit of depth to this layer. Surprising what effect it does have, actually. Is anybody crafting live with me this morning? Are you all busy catching up on your chores and things? I did pop some washing in earlier, and I've just put it out because I thought it's so breezy out there. Hopefully it's going to dry super fast, and then I can get another load in. Okay, that's our layer done. Put you to one side. And before we do anything else, I think I'm just going to do this bit of background stamping on here. So you're going to need to mount up your little holly stamp, your holly leaves. You will need your berries for later, so whilst you're in your stamp box you can locate those. And then you also need this little leafy fern stamp. There are two, let me grab my stamps back. There are two in the set. Try not to get a glare. I'm using this smaller one that is bending over to the left, but you have got the bigger one in there if you prefer to use that. So those of you that don't have the set and are unsure of what's in there. So we're going to start off, just ink up the holly leaves and just going to pop it up in this top corner like that. And then pick up your ferny one, ferny leaf. I've gone a bit on a different angle. Leaf is coming up now. Hello little man. Okay, so we're going to pop this layer just to one side for a moment. Let's pop that up over there with my base. Now we'll need, I haven't got my Just Jade scrap. You're going to need to locate, I think I've put some extra pieces of this in this size, but they're actually, you've got a couple on your sheet. You may have already used one, but I've cut a couple of pieces as spares just to the exact same size, so that if you have that little happy accident, this is for your greeting, then you can use those spares. I'm just going to grab some Just Jade from my scrap bag, because I need to just stamp these two favourite leafy images, which we're going to do a bit of fussy cutting. Like that. Oh, that was a fail. And another one. Let's just cut those off and trim them out. Just going to check, is anyone here? Oh, morning Sue, how are you doing? I didn't know whether you were sure if we were actually going live this morning. Obviously we did chat yesterday on message, but when I emailed you back it was getting on last night and I didn't know whether you'd actually see it. So, but it was in the schedule for me to go live this morning, obviously being away for a few days next week. So but I was unsure when Tuesday came, when I was feeling a bit rough, whether I'd actually be up to videoing live with my sniffing, TMI. But I'm okay. I'm okay. So I'll try not to go too fast, Sue. And I'll have a little break and a little chat in between cutting. So you guys that ordered the kits, you had some extra pieces of Just Jade, and I think you had some shaded spruce in there and some real red as well, so that you had plenty of pieces to do all your extra stamping on. So I'm just trimming round this little ferny image, leaving quite a gap around the edge. Makes it easier to trim. Okay, that's the first one. And then the next. Hope you don't hear my tummy rumbling either. I haven't had breakfast just yet. I'm not one for eating first thing. I like a coffee and a little Graze bowl of cereal, dry cereal, but can't really do breakfast. I need to, even though I'm usually awake at the crack of dawn. I was awake at 5:30 this morning. I mean, normally our alarms go off at 6, and I think at the weekend, you know, your body clock is just used to it, so we're always awake before the alarm goes off anyway. But this morning it was 5:30, and kind of opened my eyes and thought, well, I'm feeling quite awake. It must be almost time to get up, although it was pretty dark. And when I looked at the clock, it was 5:30, and thought, no, I'm not getting up just yet. So I laid there for a bit. I'm on my own as well, so Jason's at Brands Hatch car racing today, so he's not going to be back until later this evening. So it's quite nice for me to be able to go live today as well, because like I've said to some of you that when I'm live, it's because I'm chatting away, it's like I have people here with me, so it's quite nice to have some company in the studio. So those are my 2 leaves. So yeah, I'm feeling a bit better. Still a bit congested. It's always, if I've ever, I mean, touch wood, I'm touching a bit of wood behind me. I'm not normally ill. Don't get ill very often, and if I do get a cold, it's normally very sinusy, very nasal, and in the back of my neck. So, but I'm fine. All is good. What am I doing now? Let's stamp the little holly leaves. Got some Whisper White here. Just gonna ink that up. And then what I'm going to do is just take some ink. Oh, I do love sponging like that. Take some ink off of my sponge. I'm just going to lightly go over, just to give a bit of colour to my leaves. A little bit more, like that. These sponges are really handy to have. Let's just trim these out. Is anyone else joining us? Excuse me for my elbow being in shot. Let's cut these out. Remember to cut these out as one. Don't cut them as 2 separate pieces. You're just making more work for yourselves. So when I'm done with the live, I've got some kit cutting to do, which I love. I love cutting kits. I love all parts of my job, actually. I love design. I think my favourite part is actually the designing. I usually sit down either in front of Instagram or Pinterest with a notebook, and I kind of just scroll. I find designs that I like, and then I just sketch them into my notebook. And then when I come to my designing, I go to my sketch, and it quite often doesn't turn out the same as my sketch, but I find it really helps me. It motivates me to move faster with my designing, rather than just sitting there and, you know, pushing pieces of paper around and wondering, you know, how I'm going to lay it all out. I've literally got a design already. Then I've just got to choose a stamp set and choose a colour scheme, and away I go. So I've worked like that for a real long time, and I find it suits me. Helps me speed up, especially at the moment, because obviously we can't meet face to face. All of my kits are going in the post. So my general 6 cards class that I would meet with people a couple of times a month, I'm posting those out, and I'm actually including 8 cards for the price of the 6. So it's quite a lot of designing that I have to, you know, get done on top of the other classes, the extra classes that I'm including as well. So, but I do love that aspect of the job, and I'm lucky that I love it, and I get to share it with you guys as well. So I've just trimmed out my holly leaves. Next, you are not going to love me for this, guys. You really are not. The holly berries. Now, I don't believe you have enough red gems. On the past cards, we've used the red gems for holly berries, but I think we've used them all. So if you want red berries, you may have something in your stash that you can do instead of this. But I am going to fussy cut these out. So this is real red card. And I'm going to try and talk at the same time as concentrating, and get in the shot and in the light so that I can see what I'm doing. Bit of a gap around there. Tempted to go a bit closer. Take a bit more off. go horribly wrong now. I can hear the birds singing out there. There, nearly done. That's better. I think I just left a bit too much because it's red. A bit too much background. Let's take those bits out of the way. There, that's not too bad. Like I've said, if you have, I'll tell you what would be perfect. I'll just grab them. Where are you hiding? So Stampin' Up! Do these lovely red rhinestone. These are basic jewels. You could just pop something on like this instead of the fussy cutting, if you're not a fussy cutting fan. What else do we need to do for stamping? So those are our elements. Let's do our greeting. So I've used the With Love for You. I don't know if the 'Tis the Season might fit on here, but if you don't want to use that one, obviously it won't fit on the piece that I've cut for you, but I'm sure you've got extra pieces of card. I know I put extra Whisper White in for you, so you could cut a larger piece here, or you could just stamp it and punch it out with a label punch if you've got one. So let's just line this one up, ink it up, and stamp it out. And then I think that's all of our stamping done. So let's close up the ink for now until we get to the insert, of course. Pop my spare pieces to one side and let's bring back in our base. Now I'm going to start by sticking this straight down onto my shaded spruce layer. So a bit of Tombow or preferred glue of your choice around the edge. We're going to pop this one, nice even border all the way around. Get it straight, Kerry. Like that. Now we'll build up our tag. So this is the lovely laser cut tag. It's lovely. Can you see the gold like embossed? It's really pretty. They are plain white on the back, so you can always use the reverse if you're not a gold fan. And you could actually stamp some other colour on here as well if you wanted to. So let's take some dimensionals and pop these over the back. I'm going to put plenty on because there's quite a lot going on top and I don't want it sagging anywhere. That should be okay. Take off the backs. How are you doing, Sue? Are you catching up? Are you keeping up? Let me just have a refresh. I can't believe actually that we're on the 5th week of this. I don't know where the time is going. Okay. Now, before I pulled those backs off, I should have tied my twine through. So I'm going to do that quickly. So before you pull your backing off, take a piece of the gold twine, which is lovely. Cut a length, fold it in half. And then on the looped end, feed it through. Like this, and then take these two ends and pull them back through your loop, and then just pull it like that, and then just trim. I'm going to leave that until I've got it in place, and then I'm going to trim it to the desired length. Got bits of twine everywhere now, and then we're going to pop this one. It's not central actually, maybe I should go up slightly because I need to allow bit of space at the bottom for the leaves coming. I have stamped this a bit lower than I did on my original, but that's not a problem. That's central enough. And then I'm just going to take my scissors and snip off the tops. And you can twizzle the ends on these a bit so that they become a bit looser and give a bit more effect. So what's next? You will have a strip of real red. So we're just going to snip one end, lay it down on your card and judge roughly the length that you need, and then snip it off. And I'm just going to guide. I might go a little bit higher as I've gone a little bit low, because I don't want these leaves to be hanging over the bottom of my card. I think just about there, just a little bit higher than I originally did. So just a bit of Tombow in the middle part of here. Because we're on dimensionals here, if I put glue on the ends, it's not going to do anything anyway, so let's just lay this one slightly hanging over on that edge. Is that straight? No, it's crooked. Okay. I can't see if that's straight from where I am. Okay. Next, take your die cut piece. This is quite lovely. I love these presents on here. And I believe I've layered these again with dimensionals. Obviously, if you don't want your project to be too high for posting, you're a bit behind, Sue. Don't worry, honey. You can catch up. You catch up later and keep up as much as you can. Bless you. Is it nice not to be working today? Having a day off. I'm really hoping to get stuck in here this morning, finish off creating some cards for my classes in the post next month, because obviously I'm away for a few days next week. I need to cut some kits as well, ready for some classes. But I really do want to get down to my vegetable garden this afternoon while the weather's fine, because the weeds, guys, the weeds are just taking over at the moment. So I'd like to spend a couple of hours down there just tidying it up. And tidying my greenhouse as well, because it's looking a bit sad in there. Mostly I've only got peppers and tomatoes that are still growing at the moment, but it's all looking a bit brown in there, a bit sad and brown. So I need to go in and give everything a trim, take off some dead leaves and just make it a little bit tidier. Right, I'm just popping this present layer down here. Can you see how pretty that is with like the gold foiling? Lovely. Next, we'll add on our With Love greeting. So I'm just going to pop, because we've got height here, I'm just going to pop a couple of dimensionals on the right hand side. And then I will add a bit of Tombow under the part that's going to lay on top of this die cut, just to secure it that end so it doesn't move around. I'm going to pop that one there like that. Okay. How are we doing, Sue? Are you still on the fussy cutting stage, maybe? I know, I think I can fussy cut at speed, really. Maybe because I love it and I enjoy it, but I know some of you find it tricky, so it is going to take you a bit longer. Okay, take my bone folder and just curl the edges slightly on these 2 leaves. And then I'm going to lay these, down here. I'm going to pop a dimensional behind this one, just in the middle there. And a view about there. And then the other one, I'm just going to, because we're already 1 layer up with the dimensionals behind this layer, so I don't want to add another dimensional and make it even higher, because I think we've got enough height on here. Let's bring you a bit lower. Okay, now our little holly leaves. Just a bit of Tombow under the top part. I'll lay that there like that. And then I think it's probably easier just to pop the Tombow on here and then just pop on the holly berries like that. Let's just hide that little leaf end, and there we go. Just to finish, you've got a couple of the gems left. Just take mine out of their packet. Oh, I think you might have had 1 red one left. So you should have just 2 of these. They're upside down, glittery ones. So you can use scissors for this. I tend to use my nails because I find it easy with the length, but you can use scissors or you'll take your pick just to pick them up. We'll pop one up there and one down there like that. I think I've used a smaller one on there, may have used the wrong one in a previous card. But that's our card done. How quick was that, really? I don't know what time we're on. How long have I been going? 26 minutes, and I have waffled on a little bit. So that's the main of the card done. You've got your insert. Now, I don't know if I've pulled anything out to do in the middle. I think maybe we'll use this large one because it is a lovely greeting. I'm just going to pull that out. You can see by the colour of mine, I've mostly been using it. Let's find a block. Might have a wobble because my block bag is holding my stand in place. It's not the cleanest of blocks, but just mount that one up. And take the ink. Pop this a bit lower so that I can hopefully try and line it up nice and straight. Bit of a wobble there. So I like to line up the bottom of the words, I mentioned this last week, with the bottom of my cardstock so that my block is kind of in line, and then I just lift it up towards the centre and hope that it's got some kind of straightness to it. That wasn't too bad, maybe a little bit crook, but not too bad. Oh, so you're using your Stamparatus. Yes, great, that's a really good tool, to help you. And the beauty of that is if you stamp something and it doesn't come out, you can just simply re-ink and line it up. So okay, so that's our greeting. I think to finish I might just add some holly and some berries up in the corner. Oh, I can't really see. That's not too bad. There we go. So a bit of glue on the back of there. And then we're nearly done. Of course you've got envelopes, so you could stamp something on your envelopes, a bit of holly on the back tab might be quite nice, or in the corner, not where the stamp goes obviously. Now if you've got a red ink in your stash, you could have stamped the berries in red, of course, but obviously we're limited with the Stampin' Chat from the products that I've actually included for you, so that's why I'm only using green, because I want you to be able to complete your projects with just the products that I've included. So that's our card done, finished. That's the first round of Stampin' Chat complete. Just going to do up this ink pad because I wanted to just share a couple of things with you before I go. So let's just bring in all of the cards that we created along the way. So we had 5 lovely lives. So these are the 5 cards that we created. They're all, I've uploaded all of them to my YouTube channel, so if you're coming in on the recording, do go head over to my YouTube channel and you can watch all of the lives over there. So that's our 5 cards. Hope you've enjoyed stamping live with me, guys. I'm definitely enjoying having you with me. And as it's the last one, I'm just going to quickly run through the box again. So this is the project, the Tag Project kit. So everybody received a 5th of this kit with their Stampin' Chat goodies. So there's gold twine in here. Such a lovely kit, just for general crafting. Don't think of it as just, as I've said before, it's not just for tags. You know, we've made cards, we haven't made any tags with this, so we've got lots of lovely laser cut tags in here and some beautiful patterned ones with gold foiling, and then some nice push out die cut images. Christmas tree, sorry I'm probably right out of shot now. Christmas trees and stockings. You've got tags in there, and then from the one we've used today, I don't need to take that out, you can see that. So such a lovely kit. This would make a nice gift if somebody, you know, who's crafty, has got a birthday coming up. This would be such a nice gift. It does make, you can create 30 tags with it. So there we go. So I'm just going to share with you, for those that haven't caught up from last week, the next round of Stampin' Chat includes the Love of Leaves stamp set. You all know I'm in love with this set. I cannot put it down. I've created loads of projects with it, and I've really enjoyed putting together the new designs for the next round of the lives. It has been a bit of a challenge because I'm only including the Bumblebee ink pad. So this is all you're getting in. You get the stamp set and the Bumblebee ink pad, although you can choose, if you already have a yellow that you've got, you can choose for another colour. So obviously I'm only going to be using the Bumblebee ink throughout the whole of the next, well, October. It'll be the whole of October. So we start with the first live on the 6th of October, and then we'll run every week until the end of the month. But do if you've got colours of your own that you can use, so I'm using Mossy Meadow, so you could, rather than having my die cut pieces that I will include in your kits, you can stamp with your own stamps as well, so you're not tied to just using the stamped image that I've put in the one colour. So what I may well do is create a couple, like duplicate the cards, and rather than having the die cut pieces in there, I may substitute and use my inks like in Mossy Meadow, just to show you what they would look like using extra colours of ink. So that's the next round of Stampin' Chat. As I've said, we're going live on the 6th of October. Goodness, this month is running away with us, isn't it? So then what else have I got to share with you? Booking has already closed for that one, guys. So the other thing, I will be popping up on my blog later, so if you head over to kerrytims.co.uk, I've got a couple of classes in the post that are going to be coming out. and one of them is including the Tag Buffet stamp set. So if you've already got this, you may just want to purchase the card kits, but this is one of the cards that I've created with this, and it's just a little, there will be, I haven't finished this, there will be a greeting panel in there as well for you to write on. So there will be cards and something 3D in this kit. So all the details will be coming up on my blog later on this afternoon, hopefully, once I've come in from the garden and I've miraculously pulled all those weeds. If I'm successful down there, I may pop a picture over on my before and after over on my Instagram. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, you know, do go there. Do please feel free to share this live with anybody so that they can catch up later. And without further ado, I'm going to head off now and get cracking with the rest of my work for this morning. So take care, everybody. Thank you for joining me live today, and I hope to speak with you soon. So bye for now.